spring day, Miss Kudo and her class boarded a big yellow school bus, which took them off to the zoo. As the children were lining up at the entrance, Miss Kudo felt someone tugging at her elbow.
Hey, I've already been to this zoo, Miss Kudo. I thought you said we were going to a new zoo. Didn't you say that?
Yes and no, Alice. I said we were going to see the zoo in a new way. Today we're going to see the zoo the way the animals see it. And my friend Zeke the zookeeper is going to help us.
Zeke the zookeeper? Who's he?
Just then, Zeke the zookeeper came along.
He's the person who takes care of all the animals. He feeds them and makes sure that they're healthy and happy in their homes. Hiya, Zeke.
Hi, kids. Glad you're here. It's not often we zookeepers get to show people what we do. Now, let's take this first jungle path right here.
He led them past an aviary. An aviary is a birdhouse. Everywhere they turned, birds were singing.
Gee, Zeke, I'll bet you have the best job in the whole world.
It is to me, Bob. I get to see the zoo the way the animals do, from the inside out.
As they passed the snake house, a rattler shook his tail at them.
But isn't it dangerous sometimes, Zeke? How do you feed the snakes?
Very carefully, Alice, very carefully.
The gorillas?
The lions?
Well, I'll tell you what, Bob. How would you like to watch me feed the lions?
Yes, yes.
Oh, boy.
Wowee.
First, let's stop off at the cat kitchen to pick up their lunch.
Zeke unlocked the door, and the class entered the cat kitchen.
This doesn't look much like a kitchen, does it, boys and girls?
Well, where's the oven? Well, how do you cook things, Zeke?
What is in these bottles, Zeke?
Lions like their food raw, Carmen. We just take a piece of meat out of the refrigerator, then we cut it and weigh it. Those bottles are full of vitamins, Joel. We put vitamins in their meat so their bodies will grow the way they should.
Uh-oh, I think Brutus wants his lunch. It's not a good idea to keep a hungry lion waiting.
Zeke stepped up to the lion area. The lions roared. They were really hungry.
Lions are different from other cats. Other cats live alone, but lions live in families, called prides. Sometimes there are as many as 30 lions in a pride.
But Zeke, don't lions hurt people? They scare me.
The lions feel the same way about us, Bob. But usually, you know, they avoid people. The more you learn about lions, and any animal, the less there is to fear. Now, let's visit the hippopotamuses.
The hippopotamus pond was half hidden in the reeds. One big hippo seemed to be playing submarine.
They are like submarines, aren't they? See how his eyes are near the top of his head? That's so he can hide in the water and still see where he's going.
Can hippos dive like submarines? Can they stay underwater a long time? What do they do down there?
Hippos dive down to look for plants to eat, David. And sometimes they just like to settle on the bottom to cool off, but only for 5 minutes. But now, here's an animal that doesn't live in water.
Oh, look, gorillas. Now, those are dangerous. I'll bet they could eat you in one bite.
Dangerous? Gorillas? Why, no. They're big, but gentle. What do you think these guys like to eat best in the whole wide world? Anybody know?
Cake? Ice cream?
Candy bars?
Just then, the zookeeper's helper turned the bag she was holding upside down. Out tumbled a mountain of
bananas. Gorillas eat bananas and roots and vegetables all day long. They're strong, but most of them are really quite shy. As a matter of fact, they remind me of my pals, the elephants. Let's go see them now.
They moved on to the elephant house, where they saw zoo attendants working.
What else do you do besides feed the animals, Zeke?
Why, lots of things, Alice. Zookeepers are like your parents and friends, the people who love you and look after you. We look after the animals. Oh, speaking of that, it's time to check the temperature in the penguin pool today. Come on.
Zeke lowered the thermometer into the pool.
You see, Bob, animals want their home here to be just like the places they come from. Alligators want a swamp. Camels want a desert. These penguins came all the way from the South Pole, where it's very, very cold. So we must make sure the water is nice and chilly. Dip your hand in there, Bob. If you were a penguin, wouldn't you feel at home?
Bob dipped his finger in the pool.
Holy penguin, the water's cold.
Say, Zeke, do penguins ever catch colds?
Not often, Carmen. But if they ever do, the zoo hospital is just a couple of flippers away. Here, let me show you. Animals get sick sometimes, just like people do. They need regular checkups and even shots.
Oh, look, Miss Kudo. Look at the cute baby tiger drinking milk.
That's a cheetah, Alice. They're the fastest animals in the world.
That's right. This baby cheetah needs special love and attention because it was so tiny when it was born. Now, over here...
Hey, what's wrong with the zebra, Zeke?
Why, nothing, Joel. He's fine. But here at the zoo, he can't run around as much as he would in the wild. Now and then we have to trim his hooves so he doesn't trip.
Wow, what's that sound?
Ouch, that hurts my ears.
I know what you mean, Bob. This is Pedro the parrot. He's been awful grouchy lately. See, he broke his leg about a week ago, and he's been telling everybody about it ever since. Well, let's move along now, gang. You won't want to miss what's next.
He led them into a large barnyard, and the animals came right up to them.
Wow, the children's zoo.
The children's zoo is my favorite part of the zoo, and the animals love to be petted and played with.
How many different kinds of animals can you see, children?
Goats. Look, they're dancing.
Chickens, can I feed them?
Sheep, feel how soft.
Turkeys, gobble, gobble, gobble. Rabbits, oh, I love them. They're so cuddly.
Say, you forgot the most interesting animals of all, boys and girls.
We did? Which one, Zeke?
Why, people, of course. How would you like to step inside a real animal cage on the way out?
Yes, yes.
There's an empty one over there we don't use anymore.
Zeke opened the metal doors. Everyone stepped inside, and...
Look at that funny hat.
And that man with all those cameras.
And the face that little boy's making at us.
It makes me wonder, are the bars there to keep the animals in or to keep the people out?
I'd say it's a little bit of both. Are you all ready to get out now?
Yes,
Yes.
Back at the turnstile, it was time to say goodbye.
You know, it's not just animals that make a zoo. A zoo wouldn't be a zoo without animals, of course. But it needs lots of special people, too. People like me to take care of the animals, and people like you to enjoy them. Come back real soon now, gang. It sure was fun.
we will.
See you soon, Zeke.
Bye-bye.
See you later, alligator.
Bye-bye. Hurry back.
We're going to take a short recess now, but we'll be right back with another fun-filled lesson from Tell a Story.
Our two space travelers, Barry and Sherry, are waiting to be picked up by a spacecraft. They are the first children to ride on the space shuttle Trailblazer, commanded by Captain Star and his faithful space pup, Sparky.
Here it comes.
I see it.
Do you feel the thunder of it?
Oh, I'm so excited, Barry.
The door of the ship opens, and Captain Star greets his passengers.
Well, there you are. Good morning. Are you ready for a trip to the planets?
Yes.
Oh, yes, we are.
Then hop aboard and fasten your seatbelts.
We've got our seatbelts on.
Good. Meet my dog, Sparky.
Up to you, Sparky.
Barry, would you pull the launch lever control?
Righto, Captain.
Let's shuttle off.
As they blast off on their voyage around the planets, the Earth gets smaller and smaller until they are alone in space.
The first planet we'll see, children, is Mercury.
That's the one nearest the sun?
Yes, and there is less gravity on Mercury than on Earth.
What's gravity, Captain?
Gravity is the force that keeps all the planets in their places while they move around the sun. It also keeps our bodies from falling off the Earth. And less gravity means you can jump much higher than normal.
Suddenly, in the viewport, a bright light appears.
There's Mercury now.
Wow, I could be a basketball star on Mercury. I'd be able to jump all the way up to the basket.
Yes, Barry, but it's so hot that your shoes would melt.
Gosh, it sure has a lot of crater holes in it.
It sure has, just like our moon, Sherry.
There are even more craters on Venus, our next stop.
As they speed off, stars like diamonds and pearls race by.
This is the second closest planet to the sun.
Venus looks about the same size as Earth, Barry.
But it's too hot to play here either, Sherry. Look! Besides craters, it has a big volcano.
Wow!
Wow!
Captain Star fires the ship's rockets as they all turn their attention to the next stop.
Now leaving Venus. Let's just pass Earth and go on to Mars. That's the fourth planet from the sun, you know. And it's called the Red Planet.
As the spaceship nears Mars, the red glow from the planet shines on the ship, as the captain observes.
With air tanks and spacesuits, we can visit Mars. Scuba divers use air tanks and wetsuits so they can breathe and work while underwater.
Is Mars red because it's burning?
No, Sherry, it's not on fire. The soil is sort of pink, and every so often a windstorm stirs up the dust and makes everything look red.
Let's land and take a walk.
Before they step out onto Mars, they all put on their spacesuits and make sure the air tanks and equipment are A-OK.
Mars has less gravity than Earth, so we can play catch here. Watch how far this rock goes when I throw it, kids. Go chase the rock, Sparky.
Sherry wonders how high she could go if she had a swing here on Mars. Just then, Sparky, running back to Captain Star, crashes into the captain, knocking him down and pulling his air hose loose.
Help me, kids! I can't breathe!
Grab the air hose, Barry.
Got it, Sherry.
Thank you, children. You saved my life. Let's get back into the ship.
As they re-enter the ship and buckle their safety belts, the captain sets course for Jupiter, the fifth planet.
Now, children, take your space wheel in hand and see what it says about Jupiter.
It's the biggest of all the planets.
Does Jupiter have gravity, Captain?
Yes, Barry. The bigger the planet, the more gravity it has. If you stood on a scale on Jupiter, you'd weigh as much as 2 people.
Because more gravity means more weight?
Yes, that's true, Barry.
Jupiter comes slowly into sight as Barry points out the great red spot. And Sherry asks,
Jupiter has a ring around it too, Captain?
Yes, a very light one which can't be seen from Earth.
It's beautiful.
Where to now, Captain?
To Saturn.
There it is, Captain Star. Gee, look at all of Saturn's rings.
Do the rings always glow so brightly?
Yes, there is no nighttime here, Sherry.
Why does Saturn have rings? Is it married?
No, Sherry. Some scientists think these rings are pieces of a former planet that got too close to Saturn and broke up. So here we go, in between the rings. Hold on.
All of Saturn's rings look as if they're made of rocks and ice.
Suddenly, the ship's alarm sounds, and the emergency light flashes as rocks and ice begin hitting the ship's surface.
Hit the dodging button, quick.
We'll get it.
That's it. Now, let's get out of here.
The ship zooms safely away, missing a small moon that nearly hits them. The captain congratulates Barry and Sherry for doing a good job.
You two have saved the trip again.
We're just doing our job, sir.
Uranus, the seventh planet, was spotted only 200 years ago when America became a nation.
Uranus has 9 rings around it. It looks blue-green like an emerald and very cold. Is it, Captain Star?
Oh, yes. It's mostly gas and terribly cold.
And it's lying on its side.
Yes, it's the only one that does. Let's go, kids. Neptune, here we come.
Approaching Neptune, the 8th planet, they zoom past her 2 moons and see that Neptune and Uranus are nearly the same size and equally cold.
Neptune is more than 2 billion miles from the sun.
Golly, it looks fuzzy, Captain.
That's right. It's completely cloudy. And very little is known about it, so on to Pluto, the 9th planet. We are now nearing Pluto, children, the farthest and coldest planet.
Look, there are 2 planets.
Not really, Barry. The smaller one is Pluto's moon. See that, Sherry?
Yes, it's almost as big as Pluto itself.
Astronomers only found this planet in 1930.
Grandma was just a little girl then.
Well, kids, that's it for the planets in our solar system.
But, Captain, what is beyond Pluto?
Why, the rest of our galaxy, Barry. You see, our galaxy has 1 billion stars in it, and our sun is one of those stars. So all the planets we have just seen move around that sun, and it's all called our solar system.
Neato!
Some trip.
Yes, a long trip, and I'm hungry.
Well then, hold on tight, Sherry. I'm putting this ship into hyper maxi speed. We'll be home in seconds.
Trailblazer sweeps through the solar system, and the stars outside the viewport appear as bright lines streaking by. Soon they slow down, and Sherry exclaims,
There's our wonderful Earth.
And there's our very own moon.
There is very little gravity on our moon. We can float near the surface and watch an Earthrise.
Oh, goody!
But what's an Earthrise?
Well, Sherry, on Earth, when we watch the moon come up, we call it a moonrise. So when we are near our moon, we can watch an Earthrise.
All right, there it is now.
They watch the Earth rise as the ship floats near the surface of the moon.
Lovely, just lovely.
Well, let's head for home now. Earth. No other planet has all we need to live on. That's why there are so many trees and plants and creatures.
And the trees and plants make fresh air.
That's right, children. And that makes our planet green, with air to breathe and food to eat.
The ship comes in for a landing on Earth as the children unbuckle their seatbelts and shake the captain's hand.
Thank you, Captain Star.
My pleasure, children.
Goodbye, Captain. Goodbye, Sparky.
The children wave as the ship blasts off into space.